to our Grade 5 celebration of learning, where our children share with you their understandings, their knowledge, skills they've acquired in this unit of inquiry. Welcome parents, welcome guests, and welcome our ID visitors. So let's enjoy Grade 5.
Maligayang pagdating sa pagdiriwang ng Grade Masiyahan kayo.
Welcome Pama Festileria.
Bienvenidos a nuestra celebración del aprendizaje.
Velma du Enfreyat de les Andes.
Welcome to Grade 5 celebration of learning.
We just welcomed you in different languages. I welcomed you in Tagalog from the Philippines.
I welcomed you in Dutch.
I welcomed you in Spanish.
And I welcomed you in German.
Enjoy our presentations.
Our theme for this unit is who we are, and we are focusing on our beliefs and values.
Before we move on, we would like to tell you who we are.
My name is Namatai Mukadze Tembo. I am 10 years old. I am a Zimbabwean. I was born in London, England, UK at Queen's Hospital. My family consists of my mom, my dad, my sister and I. My neighborhood is a nice, peaceful, clean and safe place to stay in. The values my family holds dear are to respect the elders, always be polite to others and always be kind. Thank you.
My name is Jonathan Godson. I come from Abia State. I was born in Moli Specialist Hospital. I grew up in Ibadan. I'm an Igbo boy. My family consists of my dad, my mom, my sisters, and I. Love and caring is expressed in my family by supporting each other and by listening to each other's opinions. The members in my family relate to each other kindly. Thank you.
My name is Dara Macaulay. I was born in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria, but I'm from Akwa Ibom State. I am from the Igbo tribe. My family consists of my father, my mother, my sister, and I. In my home, we practice Christianity. The languages that we speak are Ibibio, Efik, and English. The values that we hold dear are to respect your elders, always be kind, and to be honest. Thank you.
My name is Favour Toluwanimi Oluwole. I was born in Ibadan and I grew up in Ibadan. My family consists of my dad, my mom, my brothers, and I. A way culture is expressed in my family is through our language and our dressing. Some values and beliefs my family hold dear are respect and honesty. Thank you.
Now I am going to introduce someone else. This person is in IITA community right now. He or she loves creativity and loves art and has a lot of creativity. He or she has 2 children living out of their workplace. Considering that we have a lot of Indians in our community, guess who this person is? Chituru?
Who's that?
Not quite.
Mrs. Ranjana?
Not quite. Yes, Rodula. What? Are you sure? Give her a round of applause. Welcome Mrs. Sandeepa and Mr. Jacob to our celebration of learning.
Our central idea is our values and beliefs affect our identity.
We research into how culture affects our identity. Our values and beliefs influence actions in society. Our beliefs and values are passed on from generation to generation.
The ATL skills that guided us through this inquiry are social skills and research skills. How we use social skills is that we learn to behave whilst working in a group. How we use research skills is that we gather information whilst researching on different cultures.
The key concepts that guided us through this unit are change, function, and perspective.
For tuning in, we use different visible thinking routines to show what we know when we read, identify yourself through culture. One person used I used to think, now I think. The next person used puzzle, think, and explore. The next person used color, symbol, and image. And the last person used KDB.
Next, we wrap the central idea by identifying the keywords in the central idea. The keywords are values, beliefs, and identity. We connected these words to our unit.
For finding out, we brought different artifacts from different cultures. Then we had a show and tell to talk about these artifacts. This artifact is from Kenya. It says Karibu. It is welcome in Swahili. This artifact is from Zimbabwe. It is used for cooking, or is rather used for display. This is a spoon and this is a fork. This is the ekwe. It is from the Igbo land. It is used to communicate to people from far distances.
Still on finding out, we interviewed our parents to know more about our culture. I discovered that the Yoruba culture, my culture, has a lot of programs. For example, díẹ̀ díẹ̀ ni mú ẹlẹ́dẹ̀, no one ogba, meaning little by little, the nose of a pig enters the yard, and that means attend to a problem before it becomes uncontrollable. I also found out that you should let an elder invite you to sit before you sit down. Thank you.
When I asked my friends about my culture, which is the Ibibio culture, I found out that when a woman is not fully married, she can't attend another wedding. Another thing that I found out is when somebody dies, you have to do a very good burial for them. The last thing that I found out in my culture is that when you get a new house, you have to celebrate with the people around you. Thank you.
My culture is the Igbo culture. I found out that in the traditional marriage, the groom has to take his kinsmen to the bride's village to ask for her hand in marriage. I also found out that the ekwe is used to pass on information to people from far distances. For example, is anybody here? There is a message from the king that all his kinsmen should come to him by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Lastly, I found out that Iwa Akwa is celebrated by young men. Thank you.
When I interviewed my parents on my culture, I found out that in my culture, when a couple is getting married, the groom's wife's mother will be his mother-in-law, and he will officially be called the Mukwasha in Shona. I also found out that in my culture, when a bride is about to get married, she has to cover her hair and her head with a zambia, which is a patterned designed cloth. I also found out that in my culture, we believe in totems, which are animals. For example, I am a zebra. The last thing I found out is that in my culture, we do a clapping for respect and for thankings. The women do it like this, but if it doesn't make a sound, it's not being done properly. Now the women and the girls, let's do it. Thank you. Well done. Now the men and the boys do it like this, and it should make a louder sound. Thank you. Well done.
Before we continue our celebration of learning, it's now time for you all to participate in our presentation.
May we please have 5 adults to come out here?
Baba Fefo.
Mr. Jacob, please. Mr. B. And Nana Hidayat.
The three there, two here, yeah.
Thank you for coming out. The first question is, what country do you come from and what languages do you speak? And what languages do you speak? Thank you. That sounds interesting.
What foods do you eat and who makes up your family?
Ask them again, with a big voice.
What foods do you eat and who makes up your family?
First of all, I come from Kenya. I eat ugali, sukuma wiki, na machoma. My family was women from my country. I have 2 children.
Thank you.
Is religion important in your family, and what festivals do you celebrate?
Okay, in my family, yes, we take our religion very serious. We, as much as possible, we try to follow the doctrine of our religion, and we attend our programs, our church programs. Actually, we practice Christianity, and we make sure that we attend our programs.
What festivals do you celebrate?
Well, in our own religion, we celebrate Christmas, and we also celebrate the Easter period when Jesus Christ was born.
Wow, that sounds very exciting. Thank you.
How is culture expressed in your family?
In our family, it's culture in so many ways. One of them is singing. Always sing. It's funerals. It's Christmas parties. And also it's...
Thank you very much.
Your final question is, what values and beliefs do your family hold dear?
Beliefs, basically respect, tolerance, celebration of each other, respecting your elders, love of your family is very, very important.
Thank you.
Very good.
Please give them a round of applause. Now, what is culture? Culture is a pattern of behavior shaped by society, a group of people. Many different things make up the society's culture. These things include food, languages, clothing, religion, customs, beliefs, and so much more.
Every human society has its own culture. Each culture is unique. For example, a group of people that live in a cold mountainous region develop a culture different than a group of people that live in a hot desert region.
Now, audience, let me ask you one question. One simple question. Is culture important?
Yes.
Yes. Titobi, give me a reason why you say so. Annabelle, why is culture important? Yeah, thank you. That's your opinion. Let me give you mine. Cultural traditions are important because they share shared values, stories, and goes from one generation to the next. Traditions encourage groups of people to share, create a collective identity, which in turn shapes individual identities.
Culture identifies who we are and makes us open-minded about other people's culture. If we do not understand other people's cultures and our culture, there will be great misunderstandings. Like for example, if you go to someone's house and they offer you their cultural food, you shouldn't just look at it and say it's yummy. You should eat it and leave the rest for them.
Culture is like an iceberg. It is similar to an iceberg. It has aspects that are visible and others that can only be suggested learn more about culture.
Just like an iceberg, the visible parts of culture are food, art, clothing, language, behaviors, and so forth. The invisible parts of culture are values, beliefs, opinions, and so forth.
To learn more about different cultures, we made different artworks. We made Indian menu patterns. We are also going to make Aboriginal desert artwork.
In going further, each of us shows the culture of our choice and compared it with another. I compared the Native American Indians with the Igbos. I found out that the Native American Indians speak Spanish, French, English, and so much more. I found out that the Igbos eat Ofa, Ohasu, Mekusi, and so much more. The similarities I found out are that they both eat beans and they both have many celebrations and festivals.
I compared the Irish culture with the Maasai culture. I found out that people who come from the Maasai culture are 2 million people, and people who come from the Irish culture are 50 to 80 million people. I found out that the languages that they speak in the Maasai culture are English and Maasai, and in the Irish culture they speak Irish and English. The similarities are that they both wear tartans, plaids, and patterns. I also found out that they have a lot of festivals, and most of their population is covered with Christians.
I compared the Indian culture and the Chinese culture. Do you know that in the Indian culture, there's a huge gap between the poor people and the rich people of India? For the Chinese culture, they use 45 billion chocolates a year. Before I move on, do you know that the Indian culture and the Chinese culture have more similarities than differences? They both value families and they're both very spiritual. Thank you.
I compared the Zulu culture with the Maori culture. I found that the Zulus eat ufute, dompolo, amas, and so much more. And I found out that the Maori people press each other's noses for greetings. The similarities are that they both have traditional practices related to hunting, fishing, and farming. Thank you. Now, we're going to present a puppet show. Bonjour mes amis! Bonjour! Nous nous présentons.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Dara Makoli. L'État de Akwa Ibom au Nigeria. Je mange des soupes de bronze et éditant. Je parle ibibio, épique et anglaise. Et toi?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Namatai. Je viens à l'arrêt du Zimbabwe. Je suis femme, anglais et shona. Je mange salsa et le légume. Je suis 10 ans. Et toi?
Je m'appelle Jonathan, je suis garçon, je parle Igbo, je mange ici de soupe de yam, ohasu. Et toi?
Je m'appelle Favot, je suis né le Ibadan. Je parle Yoruba et anglais. Nous portons les héros et le Bouba. Merci. Au revoir mes amis.
Nous chantons Je suis unique. Je suis important. Mon couture est unique. 1, 2, 3, allez!
Je suis unique, je suis portant. Ma couture est unique, je suis unique, je suis portant. Ma couture est unique.
Je m'appelle Jonathan. Je m'appelle
Fais-toi.
Je m'appelle Dara.
Je m'appelle Namatai. Je suis unique, je suis portant. Ma couture est unique. Merci. Now we're going to present a Zimbabwean cultural dance titled Mondorozino Wamuna Sabe, meaning the animals drink from the Sabe and the Zambezi River.
We're also going to present a Yoruba cultural dance titled Awando, meaning we are going.
Please a cultural dance from the Maori people from New Zealand. This dance is a very popular dance in our school, so if you know it, please get up and dance along with us.
Yes, Mariah.
Respecting cultures relates to internationally minded because you are caring to other people's cultures and you are not making fun of them.
Very good. Any other person have an idea? Yes, Erasmus. Very good. Culture is connected in promoting international mindedness by helping you understand each other, respecting one another, and accepting other people's perspectives.
The actions that we have taken part so far in this unit are
that we now know how to sing different traditional songs from different cultures.
We now know how to speak some languages from different cultures. For example, bienvenidos a nuestra celebración del aprendizaje.
Malika yang fak dating sa pagdiriwang ang greatly masyahantayo.
We also made posters on culture to educate people more about culture.
We now have different types of foods from different cultures, and we are doing a celebration of learning now to educate you about different cultures and how you identify yourself through who we are. Now we're going to present a country quiz. Basically, we're going to tell you the different elements of this country, and you have to guess which country we're talking about. This country's national symbol is their god Garuda. He is also on their currency. The food they eat in this country is fried rice, ramen, other noodles, pad thai, luweng pad, and so much more. The religions in this country are Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, and so much more. Which country is this? It is a not quite. Obedient? South Korea. Not quite. Sarawak. Not quite. This country is Thailand.
The people in this country eat tamales, binja piazzo, and jaco and pizza. They speak Spanish, Castilian, and English. Which country is it? Yes, Chisiru.
Is it Mexico?
No. Yes, Nayo.
Italy?
No. Last person. Say that. Spain. Wrong. This is Colombia.
This country's official language is French. They eat croissants and their flag is blue, red, and white. Correct.
This country has 26 states. This country has two rivers joined together and has more than 250 ethnic groups.
My goodness, well done grade 5, thank you Mr. Corey. Such a lot of work to show us their understandings that they've acquired as they learned in the unit of inquiry. Let's give them a really big round of applause. Now, does anybody want to ask them any questions on their unit of inquiry? Try to ask them a question where they have to think, maybe a difficult question, maybe a provocative question. Amanda, stand up, big loud voice.
What was hard for you and what did you ever profile?
What was most difficult in the unit or in the preparation? Or in the unit? What was most difficult to understand in the unit of inquiry? And what learner profile, what attributes were you using in the unit? Well, that's a hard question, Amanda. Good, thank you. What was most difficult to understand in the unit?
Where's that from?
Now stand up, big loud voice.
I think it was actually hard because we were able to learn about different cultures. And the learner profile that we used was open-minded.
Wow, thank you. Narayo, big voice, stand up, big loud voice.
What culture do you think is exhibited most in the world?
What culture is exhibited most in the world? How interesting, what question. I'm not too sure, I know the answer to that one. Yes, Dana, make an attempt, big voice.
All cultures are unique. No one needs to be important. So any culture, it doesn't matter.
Mademoiselle Zidat, big voice.
How do you think culture and diversity can help the world?
How can culture and diversity help the world around us? It's a good question. Yes, stand up, favour first. Big voice.
Culture and diversity can help because when we respect each other's culture, we can respect people in the world and we'll be able to work together to make the world a better place.
Great. Chituru.
If there was one thing you could take away from the celebration, what would it be?
If there was one thing you could take away from the celebration of learning, what would it be? Each of you, stand up. Jonathan first, big voice, Jonathan.
I'll remove the French.
No, what you take away?
I apologize, Jonathan. And you remove the French song. What Chituru is asking you, that was my mistake, Chituru, sorry. What Chituru is asking you is, all the understandings that you got from the celebration of learning, and the unit as well,
Yes.
what's the big message you're taking away? What's the big number one message that will stay with you? Nana, big voice, please.
That every culture is different in its own way. You shouldn't be judgmental about it.
You should not be judgmental. Jonathan?
You should be open-minded to other people's.
Open-minded, lovely. Madame Gazelle, favour?
You should respect other people's culture.
Respect. Nana, no pressure.
So, like Jonathan said, we have to be open-minded and care about people.
Thank you. Okay. Last question. Any adults want to ask a question, or any adults or any children want to make an observation? Not necessarily a question. Are you scratching your ear? You're trying to get my attention, Stephen. You're scratching your ear. Okay. Okay. Well, I want to say well done, grade 5. Yes, you want to say something? Big loud voice. We'll finish with you, Theodore. Question. I can't hear you, big voice.
If you were able to use the information in the world, where would it be and what information do you use?
What do you mean by that? If, say that again, please.
If you were able to use the information you have now in the world, where would it be and what information do you use?
Jonathan?
I think I'll put it in an organization. So the organization culture and not money.
Thank you, very good. Well done. Good job. Right, everybody, let's finish now. Let's give them another big round of applause. And we'll dismiss assembly. As we do, Mr. Leschenloy, can we have the dance again, please? The first dance. And they will play it, and you'll perform it, and they will leave. Okay, so let's do the last dance. We'll back up the one from Zimbabwe.
Nana.